Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Prezzo.
One and only. There can only be one.
Indeed. Listen, shall we go straight to the show, right?
Let's do that, bro.
Marvelous. Okay, count in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Thanks everyone for joining us. My name is Kevin Anyango, and this is Mtandao Varsity School of Soft Skills. The platform talks about those behaviors or characteristics that attract people to opportunities, and those what employers want. Today, I'm not alone. Today is a bit different, and I've got one and only, let's see, His Excellency. How many Rapexcellency? Prezzo, come back to the show.
Here I am. What's up?
Do you know that song, Prezzo?
Huh?
Do you know that song?
Yeah, I think I know it. You know, I think so.
Well, listen, man, I'm extremely honored to have you here, man. This is unbelievable, Prezzo. And welcome to the show.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine.
Yeah, you see, there's only one president, right? One Prezzo in Africa.
There can only be one Prezzo, only one.
Prezzo, I'll go straight to the point. I mean, listen, I grew up listening to you, man, but you remain relevant. What's the secret?
The secret is to just be passionate about what you love doing. You know, you have to be passionate about what you're doing. Like if you're a lawyer, you gotta be passionate with law. If you're a doctor, the same thing. So I implement, like, you know, Prezzo as a business and as a brand. And for that, you know, I will never, ever let it drown. Come rain, come sunshine.
So it's about passion.
It's just passion. I'm passionate about what I do, you know, ever since as far as I can remember. Even when I was in school, like I was really passionate about music, but then I you know, I had to finish my education first, and then, you know, the rest followed.
Can someone teach passion? I mean, the reason I'm asking this, Prezzo, is that there are also people look for opportunities. For example, you know, people look for jobs, and people say that at the moment, or currently, universities are churning out graduates that don't really have soul or don't even have a passion.
Yeah.
So, is this something you can teach?
You cannot teach passion. You know, passion has to be like inborn. You have to have it inside you. Like, say, for example, you know, like I'm not much of a dancer. You know, reason being, you know, I wasn't passionate about dancing ever since day one. But in music, though, music is different for me because for me, when I came, if you remember, like in 2004, I'm one of the architects who actually drew the blueprint to this industry. And when I came in, I made sure I came in and brought something to the table, which means that I actually brought the show into the business. Because before it was just stale, let's call a spade a spade. But when yours truly came by, things changed, you know? So I'm just passionate about music, and that's what actually makes me relevant, up to date, you know?
Goodness me. And again, for those that just joined us, this is Mtandao Varsity School of Soft Skills, and today I'm talking to Prezzo, an artist based in Nairobi. So, Prezzo, we talk about passion. Did your family play part in this? I want to say family, I mean your mom. I mean your mother, everyone in Kenya. Oh, excuse me. Prezzo, this is a live show. There's some things you cannot avoid. So and I've got to say also again, I've got a small daughter with me. So if she walks in, please, Usiogope.
Wait a minute. Did you just hang up on the person?
No, there's someone else. There's someone else downstairs.
Okay.
But yeah, they're all connected. So I'm upstairs myself. And yeah, this is going to control, they come as they go. Back to you. So I was asking about your family. I mean, I know, well, I know about you because I'm a fan. And also I follow your story. And you always talk about your mother, who's like a very important figure to you. So did she play a part in terms of the passion?
She played part in the sense that she gave birth to me. But when it comes to the passion, that's just something that was in me, like she didn't give it to me. Excuse me. What my mother did was she gave birth to me, and she always supported me in everything that, I wanted to do. And that's why you see, like, I always hold her with high regard.
And there are lots of people, Prezzo, at home when someone after cars. Everyone's looking for work. And nowadays, players want people that can add value. And as you say, in the music industry, it's not just in Kenya, Prezzo. Let's not be modest. Let's call spade as it is.
Right, they're not a big sport.
Yeah, because during your time, and again for those people that are watching us now, let's Google Prezzo, you will see what I'm talking about here. Employers are looking for those. Oh, Prezzo, come back.
Oh, I'm here.
Yeah. So employers are looking for people that can add value, and that value, I suppose, is relevant. So I'll put this to you: how can young people ensure they have value in what they're doing? How do they talk about themselves? Let's say in an interview, for instance. Do they be modest or do they go for it?
They have to go for it, because at the end of the day, the question that I always ask myself, how are you going to win if you don't play? Right? And if you're playing, like, at the end of the day, you have to, if say, for example, like I'm coming to you, like for a job, right? As an example, I have to have something on the table because there are probably a million people who are looking for the same job. So I have to bring something to the table that anybody else has not brought to the table. And, once that happens, then, chances are more likely, like, that's why they say, they use the term, may the best man win.
So you have to be on the game, isn't it?
Sorry, come again?
So you have to be part of the game. You have to play the game, for you to win or lose it.
You have to. Without playing, you cannot win. Like some people get discouraged, and like say for young entrepreneurs who are like trying to start their own businesses, one thing that they have to realize is that any beginning is always very difficult. But once your business gets airborne, then all will be good, but then any takeoff of a new business is always hard. And if you don't actually stand the test of time, then you can say, oh, maybe this business was not meant for me, or maybe this job wasn't meant for me. And then, you jump onto another bandwagon. But, patience is always virtue, especially when it comes to making money.
Wow, you don't lack confidence, Prezzo. So is that just inborn? Is that inborn as part of the show? Is that inborn thing or is part of the show?
No, this is inborn. And that's why, like, I started music in 2004. You see, if you do the math up until today, or if you look at my peers that I started music with, I'm actually one of the few who's out there floating. I'm actually one of the few musicians from 2003, because anybody can get to the #1 spot, but then maintaining that #1 spot or maintaining your brand is always like the most difficult thing, you see?
Wow. Well, again, for those that are just joining us, this is not a dream. This is true. We're talking to Prezzo himself.
In flesh and blood. In flesh and blood.
The only #1. Now, it's quite interesting, Prezzo. So you're talking about you have to put yourself in the game. Obviously you're confident in yourself.
Yeah.
When people are looking for opportunity, and again, I'll talk about people. I'm talking about fresh graduates, for instance. They kind of left that. They lack that confidence. Wanakuja nile, waswahili wanasema woye nisaidie. Please help me. What do you tell those kind of people that it's not about being polite, but it's that our culture. I don't know if you can reflect. You can resonate with me, but in my culture, we were taught about you don't look someone in the eye. You know, unanyenyekea tu.
Yeah.
And that has kind of affected us. So play back to you. I mean, how do we get rid of that?
You know, like self-confidence, like you see, when you speak about me and you, this is like the old-fashioned parents. Our parents were old-fashioned, so to speak. You see, so I mean, growing up, I remember being told like, do not speak unless you're spoken to.
Yes.
You know, if say, for example, like we're in the living room and visitors come, my mother would give me this eye, and I would know like, okay, I need to assume my position, which is the bedroom.
Yes.
But you see, like with say for example, like I have an 8-year-old daughter. I mean, 13-year-old daughter.
Get the facts right.
Yeah, and you know, at the end of the day, like their generation is way much more different than ours. You find that in their generation they're more outspoken and more confident. You understand? Because we're the new parents, like we're the new generation of parents. You understand?
Yes.
But then growing up, you know, we were told, like I was in that bandwagon being told, like, you know, don't look somebody in the eye when the guests come, you know, like assume your position and what have you. But then as time went on, you know, I came to realize that, you know, I need to be outspoken. So I broke that circle of, you know, being humble and, you know, just, I used to speak what I feel, like whatever I feel, I speak it out, you know, whatever I want, I go get it. So I had to flip from that mentality of don't look somebody in the eye
I give you credit, man. I mean, I give you credit for that.
Into the mentality of look them in the eye and tell them exactly what it is that you want. And trust me, good things will come your way.
See, it's about confidence, and we've got to believe in ourselves, isn't it?
We have to, because, you know, in the first place, like if you don't believe in yourself, how am I gonna believe in you? You know, if you don't believe in yourself, if I don't believe in myself, how are you gonna believe in me? So if you don't love yourself, how are you going to love other people? So you see, like love, like starts within you, and then you can spread it to other people. And so, you know, like self-confidence, you know, that's why they say it's a confidence of oneself, you know. Like I don't know when I don't understand when people say, yeah, you know, I have a low self-esteem. I'm like, it's esteem of yourself, so why don't you boost it up there, you know, instead of just having a low self-esteem and, like you said, like having that woe moment, you know.
Yes, yeah. Now, I've got to tell the viewers, by the way, that it took me 6 months to have you here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here we are, and those are talking about that.
Exactly.
So these are I'm mentioning that is I want to talk about the role of internet when it comes to opportunities. But before that, let's go back to when you were starting 2004. So, man, 2004, I didn't even know how to use a computer. I'll tell you that for sure.
Yeah.
But we didn't have even social media in 2004. Okay, but here you are, an artist who started, you know, without social media hype, whatever, and you know, you're still here, and you know, people still talking to you, people still hearing your music. So maybe just put this to perspective. How did you do it without internet?
Thank you. That's a very, very, very good question. Thank you for that. Because you see, back in the day, to penetrate into the game, into the industry, we used to, like, when I say we, I mean myself and like my brothers, my CMB brothers.
Oh yes.
We used to use guerrilla unit, you know, guerrilla tactics. You see, but then you see the artists nowadays have it easier because, you know, you have social media, you can put your work out there and people can see. So I'm just thinking to myself, like in 2004, when I came in, what if there was actually social media, you know, like I don't think people in Nairobi would have slept, you know.
Oh my God.
Because
Africa. Prezzo, Africa.
yeah. So, you know, like the internet has really helped out a lot in the sense that you can showcase whatever it is that you're interested in. And, you know, if your heart and your mind and your energy is in the right place, then, you know, failure is not an option.
Wow. So are you saying the team also played a part? Like you had a team working for you and working with you?
Of course, of course. I mean, I wouldn't take that away from them.
And is that, and could I equate that to networking as well, or is it just your team? You know, you were lucky to have good friends that helped you to build your brand.
You know, networking as well, because when I started music, apart from my team, like, you know, the networking I'm talking about is people like Big Ted, for example. The networking that I'm talking about is like Waire the Love Child, Nazizi, yes, you know, Ted Josiah, and so on and so forth. So, you know, when you combine like that plus the networking, then you're good to go, you know, because, you know, like they say in Swahili, they say, kidole kimoja akiui chawa, you know?
Yes,
and
yes.
Which is the truth. Like, you know, you can't do it on your own. And, you know, like, if you dig in deep, like the meaning of a team, it means together, everybody achieves more. That's the meaning of a team.
Dude, you're very good, I've got to say. Again, for those that are just joining us, this internal varsity school of soft skills. My name is Kevin Nyango. I'm talking to Prezzo, artist based in Nairobi. So I'm very conscious about time, Prezzo, and I've got lots of things I want to ask you. But what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to get rid of these questions. You know, and
why are you pressed for time? What's the problem?
I'm bring the Prezzo, man. I know that the queue is long.
It's fine, you know, like, I'll give you that time, no problem, bro. Take your time, don't rush it.
And I'm going to say, when I spoke to you, I think on Monday, you're a very soft-spoken guy, but people that don't know you will assume, you know, when you are a macho man, but you're not really a macho man. And
yeah, well,
and Prezzo, this is what I'm talking about this, because some people believe that for you to make it, you know, you've got to, you know, you show your chest, you know, flex your muscle, and you just forget kila mtu mwenye kumbele yako. But that's not what I'm seeing in you.
No, not at all. You know, one thing I'd say is that, you know, like, I'm one of the artists who have suffered from media brutality. You get me? And by media brutality, the media is the one that actually made people have this perception of me that, you know, I'm unapproachable, I'm this and this, I'm that and that and this. But in real essence, I really am not like that. It's the same way, like, you might judge a book by its cover and say, you know, this book cover is red. I don't like the color red, so I'm not going to like the content in it. But, you know, you have to give it time and actually go through the book to understand it. So I believe, like, you know, on that note, I'm just one of the most misunderstood artists in that we have in the country. And the reason being, you know, I'll point all blame to the media, and I'd point the blame to the people who also chose to judge a book by its cover and not read the book. So this is the book right here.
And that's talking about the book. Again, you find the people that are scared of going for work or going for jobs, opportunities, that assume is huge. So for example, look, I'm talking to you right now. And so when I was telling friends that you're coming to the show, the first thing you asked me, how did you reach it? Where do you get it from? So there's that fear, there's that fear, and that reflects the reality. When you're looking for work, you find, like, for example, World Health Organization is once communication officer. And you say, I cannot apply for this because of the organization. So, you know, what do you tell those people that, you know, they kind of like sitting on their tail? They're like, that's not for me.
I would tell them, you know, success is on the other side of fear, you know. And, you know, again, you know, like, I like to quote in Swahili, like, in Swahili, there's a quote that says, mtembea bure sio sawa na mkaa bure, which means, like, the person who just sits and the person who actually, like, rolls out there, even though they have nothing to do really, but chances are likely, like, they will bump into something that's going to help them out, rather than isolating yourself and saying, okay, so how am I going to do this? Where am I going to start from? You know, you have to be out there, and you never know, like, what God's plan is for you, you know? So if you're just stagnant, then you won't get anything. But if you keep going out there, you'll definitely find something. And that's why, like, even the Bible says, like, whoever doesn't work has no right to eat. And that's the Bible, you know, that's the holy book. So even though you have nothing to do, you know, get out there, you know, see what it is that you're good at, pinpoint what it is you're good at, and just follow that same channel.
Wow, Prezzo, bless me. I didn't know you're this inspiring. You know, again,
Thank you, sir.
I can see when we think of you, and not now when I say you, I'm using a metaphor because some people are talking about organization as well. We have this fear. For example, of Prezzo, the picture we have about Prezzo is cigar, lots of money, tattoos. But actually, you've got soul as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, at the end of the day, life is what you make it. And like I said before, success is on the other side of fear. If you fear something, then you're not going to know that you'll be fruitful, it'll be fruitful for you. If you're scared of something, then already once you're scared, then you're automatically, I'm sorry to say, but you're automatically a loser. Now, this world, for example, it has no time for your problems. Like, say you have an altercation with your girlfriend and you go on social media and say, oh, there's no something like loyalty in this world. Nobody cares about that. But then, if you go out there and show them that you're a serious individual, then, what you show the world is what they're going to perceive you as. If you show them you're a serious individual, then they'll take you seriously. If you show them that you're a joker, then they'll take you as a joker,
So why are institutions not teaching this? I mean, for what we've talked about for the last 10 minutes, it's about passion and confidence. I'm a I know where you went to school. I'm a system of that traditional. Listen, you need to get to me. Like you said in Momoka,
I can see, man. I like your tie, by the way. Pretty fresh.
Well, Prezzo, there's no modesty here, isn't it? But look, the reason I'm talking about that is why our institution? Because we spend a lot of time in school,
Yeah.
and I don't remember sitting in a class talking about confidence.
Yeah, that's very true. But also, like, a point of correction, my brother, that was in the past. That was like, not this generation. Like, say, for example, like the 13-year-olds that we have nowadays, the 14-year-olds, they're much more outspoken than we used to be. You see, so I think that wave is already like, gone, and we're actually opening up a new wave because of technology and our ways of thinking. You said you have a daughter, isn't it?
That's what, yes, she's 2.
She's 2. Just wait, like in 3 years, she'll be asking you that she wants a tablet, So, with technology, it makes things a whole lot easier. It makes things a whole lot more, they have that self-confidence because of how we're bringing them up, like they have cell phones now, they have tablets now, they can speak up, whenever it is that they feel like, as long as it's in a respectable way. So I think, whatever you're talking about is water under the bridge. That was the way it was back then. And how do we break that circle is by this now new generation of children, because they don't care who's a Kikuyu, they don't care who's the Luo, they don't care who's a Kamba, they don't care who's a Meru. They're all just equal, So that's how the circle is being broken.
So confidence is not really a privilege, because some people assume
really,
that because of your background makes you confident. So it's not like that. Confidence is not a privilege at all.
Yeah, confidence is, whatever it is that you're not sure about. There's this one book that says, like, always say less than necessary. Because sometimes, like, when you speak a lot, you might end up saying just one thing that can make the whole room look at you in a different way. So if you have nothing, just don't say it, but then if you have something to say, then say it with confidence, because you know that whatever you're saying makes sense and that you're right about it. You see, so once you do your research, then it builds your self-confidence. Once you gain knowledge, then it builds your self-confidence, because you can walk into a room and speak and people will actually listen to you because you're speaking sense.
So I want to be a bit realistic, Prezzo, here. I mean, listen, the stats are out there. People are struggling to get jobs, really.
Right.
And I want to talk about personal branding, and when I mean branding, I don't mean like, a celebrity or whatever. I just mean this is an ordinary person, finishes school and looking for work. And now they say we want people who are passionate, people with confidence. but when it comes to branding, how will a fresh graduate, have a brand that he or she can sell to employer?
They have to study on what brand it is that they want to get involved in. And then once they study what kind of brand they're getting involved in, like say, for example, if I wanted to do law, I would look up to people like Johnny Cochran and them, you know. If I want to be a shrewd businessman, I would look at somebody like Donald Trump. You know, I might disagree with a lot of things that he does, but then he's a successful businessman. So from everybody, like you pick a leaf from Bill Gates, you pick a leaf from Chris Kirubi, you pick a leaf from Prezzo, you pick a leaf from everybody, you know, and then from there, you just grab the bull by its horns and just roll with it. You just roll with it and roll with it and roll with it.
Well, is the mentorship overrated?
Sorry?
Is the mentorship overrated?
In what sense?
I don't know. Well, you tell me, because everyone says that if you want to be like Prezzo, you need someone to mentor you. But sometimes people mistake mentorship with opportunity. For example, I want to mentor me because you can open for ways for me. Like if you cannot give me a job, then you cannot be a mentor.
Yeah, you see, that's where they're wrong, because mentorship, that's why I said, I named a couple of people. So, in this world, like everybody was put on this world for a purpose. And say, for example, like if I like what you're doing, if I want to grow up and do what you do, then I'll do a case study on you and find out exactly how you started, how you were able to like get airborne, and how you managed to stay afloat. Now, there's nothing wrong with biting as long as you bite with perfection. So, I cannot be your mentor because you're expecting a job from me. I can be your mentor in the sense that, you can learn from whatever mistakes or whatever goods I've done. And then, whatever mistakes I've done, then you flip the script, so you're biting, but you're biting with perfection. So,
wow.
So I cannot say so-and-so is going to be my mentor because I want them to employ me. No, you see, once you get all those qualities together, then failure is not an option,
I was a role of friends when it comes to opportunities.
Sorry, come again?
The role of friends or role of friendship when it comes to opportunities. So yeah. Again, I'm asking this in reflection to what you're doing or what with CMB brothers, for instance, because nowadays if you find friends don't talk about opportunities. Like if I want to be with friends, I have to go to the bar and we have a drink, but we don't necessarily talk about business or how to help each other in. So I suppose what I'm trying to say is, when people are looking for opportunities, should they forget about their friends? For example, come out to Ghetto, for instance.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. The reason why I'm saying this is because the moment, you step foot outside your house, you have to realize that you're living in a jungle, And that's why I said, I use the relationship as an example. Like, say, you have a girlfriend and, you guys are in bad terms, and then you go and start putting your heart out there and say, this world ABC, instead of doing that, because nobody really cares. And so it will play a big part, because say, for example, you can call a friend today and tell your friend that, hey, buddy, how's it going? I'm actually short on my rent, and, I just got this newborn baby, and, you lay all your problems because of the name friends. And the person can tell you, I'm sorry, but I'm not in a position to help you and what have you. And then the next thing, like when it gets to the weekend, the same person will be calling you to go pop bottles in a club. And so you ask yourself, you're like, okay, so where's the friendship? Because if you really were my friend, then this popping bottles wouldn't be more important than what I asked from you earlier on in the week, which was my house being locked up, And you have to realize, in this world that we're living in, the difference between a lot of people and with me is that, the people who have helped out, infinity. But the people who've actually looked out for me, I can barely count them with one hand. So that already taught me that, you know, it's a world full of hazards and it's a jungle out there. So don't depend on friends, because at the end of the day, like, you know, there are different types of friends out there. There are friends who will show you how to fish, and there are friends who will always want you to come and ask for fish from them every day. But instead of teaching you how to fish, they get joy in you coming to them and asking them for fish, so to speak.
Wow. So I suppose it's a matter of knowing what you want, isn't it? Be conscious who's around you.
Yeah, you have to. It's very important. And, you know, another most important factor is that, you know, time waits for no man. So, you know, if you say that I'm only 20 years old, I'm going to wait until I'm 25, you know, those are 5 years of your life that you've lost, and you will never, ever recover them. You see?
Okay. Prezzo, people that don't know you.
Do not rely on friends, just rely on people.
Prezzo, people that don't know
Go
you.
ahead.
So someone just sent me a text here, and I'm going to read it. And I don't think this person know who you are. Actually, they do. People ask about Makini. So you, the Harbour Clinic, you know, you used to run that.
Yes, I still do.
Right. So we are to an employer here. So when you're looking for employment, when you're looking for people to come work for you, what do you look for?
Well, I just look for what's going to help elevate the company. You know, that's the most important thing that any person out there wants, you know, like elevation of a company. And if you know quite well, like McKinney Herbal Clinic has been there ever since 1979. Now, you see, like 1979, I wasn't born, but when my dad passed away, you know, it forced me to become a man way before my time. And so for that reason, you know, like whoever brings something worth it to the table, then, you know, it's good to go, you know, because you're just actually selling your skills and, you know, add value to the company. And that's it, you know.
So do you look for experience or do you look for school? When I say school, is, for example, people assume that because you went to Brighton, you went to Harvard, you can deliver compared to somebody who would say, I went to Olympics, in Kibera, for instance.
Yeah, no, I don't look at that, you know. Like, let's say, for example, if we put it into music, right? If we stay into music, there's a lot of upcoming talent, like crazy talent in Kibera, for example, you know. And, you know, whatever school you go to, that's none of my business. But if you have the charisma, if you have the skills that I'm looking for, and if you have the focus, then, you know, chances are most likely that I will hire you, you know. And also, another thing that's very important is like body language. Say, for example, if you're going for a job interview, you know, your body language, like if you're a charming person, chances are very likely that you'll get what you want. You'll get that job. But if you go there and you're gloomy, you know, maybe you didn't have breakfast in the morning and you think the whole world is tumbling down, then, you know, trust me, it's just a waste of time, you see. But there's so many things that contribute like into getting a job, like, you know, aside from the CV. So the school is not one of them, to answer your question. I don't care what school one goes to, as long as that person can deliver. Again, that person has charisma, you know, that person has this charm, then, you know, we're good to go.
Let's talk about appearance. Again, you know, and I'm going to name names. Well, I mentioned names here. I'll start with you, of course, Prezzo, and also people like the Facebook founder, the always t-shirts, you know.
Yeah.
And people take that as, you know, it doesn't matter how you look like as long as you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
What's your thought on that?
Well, I think, you know, when you get to a certain level of life, you know, if you have the money, then you really don't have to, like, you know, worry about how you look, because you have all the money in the world. You know, you've seen Jay-Z with the dreadlocks and everything.
Yes.
You know, some people say, like, isn't he too old to do that right now? But then you see he can do it because he has the money. And then on the flip side, you know, there's always two sides to a story, like a coin. So the other side is you have no money and you're trying to make it out there. Now, I'll give you a story about, like, say, for example, Donald Trump. When Donald Trump wanted to, like, get into business, the first thing that he invested in was a proper suit. And he only had that one suit you can do your research and you'll see he only had that one suit, and that's the only suit that he was using to break into offices. But the other office didn't know that the next day he would be wearing the same suit. So it's really different. Like once you have the money, you can do anything. You can put on flip-flops, you can put on a simple jeans, put on a simple t-shirt. But if you don't have the money, then you have to look like money in order for people to treat you like money. And that's why I'd like to say that money accompanies money. And that's why people come up with phrases like, fake it until you make it. So if you're still below the radar, you cannot choose to dress like Steve Jobs, because you're not Steve Jobs yet. But Steve Jobs can dress like that because he has the money, like he's already made it. Good example, like I'll use an example of myself. Before, like in my safe, I have a lot of jewelry.
I know.
I have a lot of golden chains, but I don't wear them anymore because I don't feel the urge to. You know what I mean? Like I don't have anybody to please out there with the jewelry. But when I was coming in 2004, I had to wear my jewelry so that, I can like, look at me, I'm here, guys. But now I've toned down because I'm in a comfortable place. I'm in a good place in my life. So that's the difference right there.
Well, so some people should say that, for example, you go to a particular school and you want your son to have dreadlocks and the school is saying no. And you start talking about human rights, you're like, I want to be whatever I want to be. And as you say, they're still under the radar. So are you telling them, to conform to the society?
They have to. They have no choice, They have no choice because as much as people are against, like, gayism, gayism is actually it's around us all, like we just have to come to terms with some things. And I don't know which school you're talking to, but I don't see any school that can refuse a child to have dreadlocks in this day and age,
Oh, Prezzo, come on, Prezzo. You cannot go to, listen, I'm not talking about the Bribans and the Brooks, whatever, wherever you're at St. Christopher's. But for example, Olympics, you cannot have a child with dreadlocks at Olympics. They won't allow you in.
It actually depends on how the parent showcases the child, because like if I have my child and I take my child to Olympics, like you would say, I would make them understand that this is my child. I have no issues with him or her having dreadlocks, but he's a well-behaved child and he's a very focused child. So don't judge a book by its cover. Don't see like what on the outside and think that it's in the inside. That's my job as a parent, like to actually be now that person, to be that lawyer, to be that advocate for my child. But you see, like if I go there and then they say, no, this person cannot come in here because of the dreadlocks, and I say, okay, go cut the dreadlocks. I'm not being an advocate really to my child, but if I put my case on the table and say, I'm going to pay school fees, that's the most important thing. This is my son. In case of anything, give me a call, let me know, and we'll straighten things out. So with dialogue, anything is possible, because honestly, I think the parents have a lot to play with that as well. And if the parents can't be the advocates to their own children, then of course, they're going to be run on by the schools.
Well, and that takes us back to what you talk about confidence. If your parent believes in their kids, then they won't have to talk about the children.
Exactly. Thank you, sir. Exactly. That you took the words right off my mouth.
But it is a problem, though. And again, it's not a joke here. Listen, I've been very, very fortunate. Sometimes, we are part of this panel that doing interviews and stuff like that. And you look at the regions, let's say people from Africa, for instance, they come to the interview, they're very, very teamy, and they confuse that with respect. It's not really like that, so is it?
No, it's not, It's not, like, you just have to put your child on a straight and narrow. And once you do that, like, say, for example, me, like I told you, I'm a very misunderstood person. Reason being, like, my mama didn't raise no fool. You see, a lot of people say that, they used to say for the longest time, they said, yeah, Prezzo is into drugs. Prezzo is an alcoholic. Prezzo is this. But then, my question to them was, all this while, have you ever heard Prezzo being in a rehabilitation center? You know, I mean, they've been saying it for the longest time, you know, so at the end of the day, like, you know, the world is I mean, this world that we live in is a highway. And, you know, like, it being a highway, you know, you're actually cruising 120 plus, you know, on the highway of life. But then, you know, you find these bumps, and the bumps happen to be your haters, people who don't want to see you succeed, you see, people who want you to slow down. So
Prezzo, no, so please carry on. Please carry on.
Now tell me, I'm listening, brother.
I was going to say, I mean, what you're talking about right now, you know, and again, for those that are just joining us, this is Mtandao Varsity School of Soft Skills. I'm talking to Prezzo, artist based in Nairobi. Prezzo, what you talk about right now, it's very inspiring and actually makes sense. But why don't you talk about this all the time? Where are you?
What do you mean by, in what sense?
In every sense, Prezzo, in every sense, in terms of, for example, the things you're talking here, but you know, that I myself took for granted. You know, for example, you know, they are going to be confident, you know, you showing up, you know, your opinion shaper. You know, the thing that you say, you know, people will take seriously.
Yes.
You know? And it's clear, you know, there are also people struggling outside here, not because they don't have the capability, but it's about confidence, you know, they need a bit of a boost. So people like you that should be encouraging others, you know, you're very hard to find. Why is that?
Yes. So you see, like, if I can just collect my train of thoughts, yeah. Like I was saying before, what I was saying was people had this perception of me, but then you see, like, I stuck my chest out because my mother had my back, you know, and she didn't raise no fool. Like, you know, I don't think you'll come across, like, I'd consider, if I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I'm one of the most respectful people you can meet out there.
I tell you what, that's true. That is true.
The reason being, like, you know, of my upbringing. So you see, like, as parents, like, we have to be the advocates for our children. I had to, like, you know, my first years that I pierced, like, I did it like undercover without my mom knowing, because I knew, like, she would whoop me, you know, she'd give me a beating and a half. But then when she came to realize, like, you know, she adjusted to them, and, you know, me having an earring did not change how I respect people or how people should respect me. You understand?
So talking about respect, let's talk about social media right now. And again, listen, yeah, I know we're running out of time, but people are taking social media, for example, as a tool where you bully people. You know, people kind of, you know, don't really agree to disagree. You know, so some people are actually getting off social media, even though it's a tool that should make things happen. Well, it may happen for me. I'm talking to you because of social media. So what is the role? What would you say the role of social media when it comes to opportunities as well?
Oh, well, social media, you see, like, that's why I'm saying, me coming up in the industry was like, the tactics we used were guerrilla tactics. You know, we didn't have all this, like, Instagrams and, you know, Zooms and social media at all, you know. So, you know, whichever artist that made it last, like, in those years, that's an artist that you have to salute, because we didn't have all these tools. But now, for example, you know, you can have your own YouTube channel, and, you know, like, depending on how unique you are, then people will actually pay mind to whatever it is that you're doing. So you have to use social media to your advantage, and not tell people how love is blind and, you know, this and that, you know, like, use it the right way, you know. And once you do that, then trust me, failure again is not an option.
How do you fight bullying in social media?
Or for me, you know, like me, I'm the wrong person to ask, because me, I grew a thick skin since 2004, you know.
So you don't
I
really
grew up,
care what to say.
I honestly don't know. Matter of fact, I care when people don't talk about me. That's when I care. I say, okay, what am I not doing right? You know. But as long as people are talking, then you better believe that, you know, you're on the right path, you know.
Well, listen, Prezzo, I cannot thank you enough, man. And talking about YouTube, for those that listen to us, listen to our Varsity School of Soft Skills. Please, you know, go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, and look at my other episodes. Today, I'm talking to Prezzo. I'm going to say I've not paid you to come here, you know, and this is what I'm saying. This is for those that listen to us. If you've got the ability, if you've got that passion, you go for it. You know, I've never met Prezzo. Well, I have met you twice. I told you that. I met you once at Intercon. I think you had come for tea or whatever. I was there with work. And I had to say hi to Prezzo, and you stopped and shook my hands. And you say, "What's up, brother?"
Absolutely, absolutely.
You better remember this. So what I'm trying to say is, you know, whoever, don't just stay at home. You know, you can reach anyone you feel like. You know, use social media correctly. Prezzo, I listen. I can't sit here. We can talk forever. I mean, it's and as I told you, I need to behave myself. You know, because I'm Star Trek. Really. You are Prezzo, man, the only one.
I'm now officially your brother, bro.
Oh, dude, you're in my part of my network now. You cannot get rid of me. I've got your number.
Yeah.
Look, the last session of this show is I normally ask guests to introduce you to someone else. For example, I was introduced to you, someone else, and here you are. So I'm going to ask you as well. The other personalities I would like to have with the show. I know they're your friends, and I want you to commute.
Yeah, so, you know, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So, you know, like we can't play guessing games. Just tell me who it is that you'd like to have, and, you know, the rest will just flow.
Unanienjoy sasa Prezzo.
Panini, where's the Coca-Cola, bro?
Right, so there are two personalities. I'd like to have Wahoo Kagwe. I know she's your friend.
Wahoo?
Yes, our nameless wife.
Yeah.
And I want, if this is possible, that is AY, the Tanzanian artist.
Yeah. So pick one of those two. You know, you can't really pick one.
I like to have Wahoo Kagwe. You know, I mean, her experience, again, the longevity she has had in the industry, you know, it's remarkable, really. And also, what's happening around the world right now, you know, we need to show that gas actually can do it. And I think Wahoo is an unbelievable example.
No problem. Consider it done. Okay.
You know, we've checked this.
And here, you know, like I can give you my word, like consider it done on both parties. Like I'll get you Wahoo and I'll get you AY.
Oh, Prezzo, man. Thank you so much, man. I cannot thank you now.
My word is my bond. You can always take it to the bank anytime.
I know you told me you're coming to the show, here you are. And I cannot thank you enough. Thanks for building me, Prezzo.
Always.
Look, I know what I can offer you, nothing. I mean, when I'm here with the phone, me, I'm going to say thank you, man, for your time. I really appreciate it.
And also, I'll say thank you for, you know, being a fan and for being a brother and for supporting, like, you know, the industry, because, you know, whatever you're doing right now is actually a contribution into this industry. Whatever you're doing right now, like you're taking time, as much as, yes, you deal with celebrities, but, you know, keep in mind that celebrities are just human beings, just like myself and you. So the contribution that you're putting into this, you know, you might not see it right now, but in future, as time goes by, I guarantee you, and you can mark my words, you know, you'll see the contribution that you actually looked at as small into a big contribution.
That's a free advertisement. Oh, thank you so much. And listen, I mean it, man. Because I really, really mean it. You know, I know, we spoke on Friday. You see, you're gonna come to the show. Here you are. You posted my stuff on your page. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much, Prezzo. And I know I'll get some point.
Anytime, my brother. And, you know, God bless you. Keep up with the spirit, okay? I'll let you know about Wahoo and AY. My word is my bond, okay?
Thanks, Prezzo. Do you have a nice evening, sir?
Likewise, brother. God bless you.
Thank you. Thanks, Prezzo. Oh, goodness me.